Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Broadcasting from the Gregory Ricks & Associates Wealth Management Studios, here's D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth! This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I am your host, D Squared. As always with me, my boy Skungy's along for the ride. Skungy, how you doing in there?
I'm probably doing better than you, bro.
Hey, everybody's doing better than me at this moment in time. All right, let me lay out the show for you real quick. We are guest-free tonight. In the next coming weeks, next week we have the LA Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
We're going back to our roots, buddy. We're going back to our roots, bringing on all the old fan groups, pretty much, all the people that we're friends with, and all along the Gulf Coast. So if you want to reach out, if you want to be on the show, bring on your fan group. This show was designed to be a platform for the fan groups. Let them, talk about their events. Like next week, the LA Ghostbusters. They've got an event going on. I already forgot what the hell it was.
Chewbacca's, bro.
Chewbacca's. How do I forget that? I don't.
It's all right. I mean, we walked through the con floor on Sunday.
Oh my God! Like everybody, we're like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you remember us?
Yeah, right."
And we basically just talked to our old friends and said it's been forever since you've been on the show.
I love it. Randolph with the crew, the Enterprise. Like he was like, "Oh, it's that David D. Squared guy." Like, well, I was going to invite you on the show, but peace out. He's like, no, wait, come back. So that's what's going to be in store in the coming weeks, but we'll also have our regular guests as well. But tonight, we've got a lot of top nerd news to cover. Skungy's got a pick of the week, which is actually... We've been meaning to do that one for a while because we had Michael Jai White on the show a little while ago, and he is one of the voices in that game. But first, let's do this. And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news story. The air freshener's not helping in here. It's awful. It's awful in here. Something died. All right. Speaking of something dying, I think a lot of people's image of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, that their love for that company has somehow withered and died. Let's set the table, shall we, Skungy? Ooh. So, as we all know, Dungeons and Dragons has been around for a fortnight or 20, and they, started off with, what was it, TSR, and so they got bought out. Wizard of the Coast bought them in the most recent history, and then they got bought out by Hasbro, and it's been a corporate empire. Now, most people remember, the original Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, AD&D 2nd Edition, where they introduced skills, non-weapon proficiency skills, and as most things do, they grow, they get bigger, and so then they came out with the greatest version of Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. Their 3rd edition and 3.5 is just the hallmark. It is the high watermark for all tabletop role-playing games. I don't care. Fight me, 929 Howard Avenue. Fight me. I know I'm right, so nobody's going to show up. So
you say that.
Now, I'm sure there's a Warhammer 40K person going there. You get off my lawn.
Yeah, it's Henry Cavill.
That no acting hack. So, at this point, when 3.5 came out, and it was like in the year of our Lord 2000 or something like that, they came out with this OGL, an open gaming license, which allowed other people, that had a love for Dungeons and Dragons and wanted to use like the rules mechanics of said game, but sort of create their own world. That was what brought along some of these other groups, and that's how I stumbled across our friend who made X-Crawl. They
X-Crawl uses those
3.5, yeah.
Okay.
Now he has moved on since then. He's moved on from that, and he's actually with there's so many game systems
Yes,
out there, but they made their own new system, and it has a D30, a D100. Remember the old dude who's always at the cons here, like all the local cons, who has the dice? He's an old guy. He's like 8 billion years old, but he sells the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
But so they made their own little deal. But I'm sidetracking here. But there was this bevy of D20 games that came out. It was all based on the D20 system that they put out, and so it was an open license as long as it didn't infringe upon, the Dungeons and Dragons, like Dragonlance or Forgotten Realms and these sort of things. It was okay. You could make anything. That's how Weird Wars 2. I remember we played. I made that with the 3.5 rule, so it was
Such
easy.
a great game.
Yeah, and so the worlds. That's what it did for the community, was bringing a lot more gamers who didn't want to be dungeon crawlers, that didn't want to just go, kill a dragon, steal its hoard of gold. Yeah. People that were like, well, you know what? I kind of want to, play a World War II game, but with zombies. I want to play like a D&D type world, but kind of like, American Gladiator, and there's a live studio audience.
Didn't
Those
you do Night of the Trekkies with that?
Yes, Night of the Trekkies. That was based on a book. But yeah, we just used the open 3.5 thing and just like made some characters, bada bing, bada boom. Savage Worlds is another game system. Now, all these things were born out of Dungeons and Dragons giving this OGL gaming license. So like entire companies have been built upon this open gaming license. Well, just this week, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, they came out and they were going to give in OGL 1.2 and then eventually a OGL 2.0. Now, on the surface, it's like, okay, they're just updating a 20-year-old document. It's a 20-year-old document. The times, they are a-changing. And what this new document is supposed to do is to keep things in-house for them, such as like they have like Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons had Dungeons & Dragons Beyond. It's an online platform for them where you can get all sorts of just extra things to help with making characters. It's like an online sort of help desk sort of thing. Okay, so it's a paid subscription site, and you can it gives you game master tools. It gives I know I'm getting in the weeds here. There's probably some people going, what the hell is this guy talking about? But the whole point is that they are changing the rules because it's a 20-year-old document and they want more money. No big shock here. It's a corporation. Now, the funny part is Pathfinder, a group called Kobold Press, and Chaosium, which made like a lot of the Call of Cthulhu games and stuff back in the day. Yeah, they are in an uproar. They are upset, and the fan bases that use some of these systems got upset, or at least these worlds, because they were immediately going to make kind of like a cease and desist. Like, if you were using anything on this, you have to pay us some sort of tributary. And here's the revenue things. There was a tier system of revenue, the initiate tier. If you've registered at least one licensed work but haven't generated $50K, then you are an initiate tier. Revenue from the OGL commercial products in a given year, so you're okay. Yeah, but if you make $750,000, like almost $1 million, then you are in an intermediate tier where you're going to have to pay more money. Up to 20 to 25% of your revenue has to go to them. Okay, but
wait, I thought Pathfinder was part.
So Pathfinder is based on its old employees from Dungeons and Dragons, from Wizards of the Coast. Some of them were head of TSR. Some of them were actually part of the tabletop division of Wizards of the Coast. And they left to go make their own thing with the OGL. It gave people this creative license to do stuff. So they went out and they made their own Dungeons and Dragons sort of world where their goblins look like the goblin at Go 4 Games, a little pointy ears.
That's a Pathfinder goblin.
That's a Pathfinder goblin. So there were visual, conceptual, and different little nuances to the games of the world.
Legally distinct.
Legally distinct from what Dungeons and Dragons was, but it was based on the 3.5 D20 system. Okay, it all comes back to the system, what the rules you use to play the game.
Okay.
So they made it up. Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons created 3.5. And they were like, hey, fellow nerds, go wild, have fun, enjoy yourselves. The more people that get involved, the more people will go back to like the Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, really? Well, I started playing Pathfinder, but this Dungeons and Dragons thing you're talking about looks pretty cool. And so they make money. Everybody makes money. They're happy. Shock of shocks. Now a corporation wants to make more money. Ain't no big shock there. So this draconian OGL has gotten people's panties in a superior twist. So what happens? A lot of the companies like Pathfinder, Kobold Press, they come out and they're like, this is a detriment to our business. How dare they change it? It was the spirit of the law. Because the people who will work with Pathfinder, Paizo, they are some of the ones who drafted this original document. They worked there at the time, 20 years ago, when this original draft was put out. The spirit of it. And so this is the crux of all sort of law, and this applies to everything in business. The spirit of the law was to allow, community to grow. Okay, the community's grown. Now they want their money. It's like the mafia. It's like, all right, look, you've got this wonderful empire. You owe me a piece. I just need a taste, just a taste. Well, that taste is now 25%. Hey, well, you know what? You built an empire because Paizo, Kobold Press, all these people, they are companies within their own right with hundreds of employees. So look, what I'm getting at with this is that the entire Dungeons and Dragons sort of internet community, see, like, we're not the target. We're not the ones that are in an uproar about this, people that are in their 40s and 50s like us. It's these young kids that have suddenly realized that corporations might not have your best interest. I can't even finish the damn sentence. They just figured this out. There is an email, Skungy. I got to read this email. I can just see the angry millennial, typing this as they're going. It's like, I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of a community I love. Just shoot me now. And I know that the leaders of Wizards of the Coast are looking at, they are briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. Okay, well, the company's like, okay, well, there's some people angry. Let's take a pause. But the second thing is their decision-making is based entirely on the provable impact to their bottom line.
Like any business ever.
Wow, yeah, right. Okay, our customers are mad. Let's see what's going on. Specifically, they're looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions and cancellation as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. Okay, people are out there canceling subscriptions because a lot of these, influencers, that's like such a influencers were like, D&D Beyond is bad, they're bad, so just cancel your subscriptions right now. So it took fire. It was like D&D be gone.
Yeah, I
that was one of the hashtags. But they're still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can still push this through. Welcome
seems
to
like
politics.
It seems like any other corporate letter of all time. I mean, come on.
Like, how many politicians have done some horrible things, and the next election cycle comes on, they're like, oh, I remember that name. Yeah, just vote for him. Same thing applies here. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, yeah, I love that. Remember they did something bad? Yeah, whatever, but I want to go play the game. This, I find it entertains me so much because they are so angry. It's like they've just realized that corporations might not, have their best interest in heart, and that they are an obstacle to their money. It's like, look, man, I think what surprises me so is that now they are coming out with a new open gaming license from the new people like Paizo and Kobold Press, who have made millions, maybe not millions, but they've made a damn fine living off of this original OGL 20-year-old document. What was it called?
It's called ORC. It's Open RPG Creative License. And it's made by Paizo, Cobalt,
Chaosium,
and Legendary Games.
So now there's a couple of little smaller imprints like Green Ronin and a couple of other ones that, look, all these people make some great games, but Kobold Press, this one cracks me up. This cracks me up because here we go. Kobold Press has been and always will be committed to open gaming in the tabletop community. Our goal is to continue creating the best material for players and game masters alike. So As we look ahead, it becomes even more important that our actions to represent our values while we wait to see the future holds. We are moving forward with clear-eyed work on a new core fantasy tabletop rule set. So let me get this straight. You're upset that the company that invented some rules over 40 years ago, almost 50 years ago now, and 20 years ago, they were like, hey, we have a flagging industry that is, people have found video games, and they're not so fond of pencil and paper games. We need to, adjust with the times or bring in more people. Here's a great idea. We bring in the open gaming license and bring more people. It worked, okay? And now they got money. Now these people who have made money off of someone else's creation, namely, Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast, even though they didn't create it, but they own the property now.
Yeah.
They bought the company. The rules came with it. So now it's like, wow, new idea. Let's write our own rule system. You just figured this out? I'm shocked by the stupidity of it all. I think that's what I'm shocked about is the sheer stupidity and the anger of these children.
I don't think
because they're children to me.
I don't think it's necessarily stupidity. Here's the thing. If it ain't broke, why fix it? You've got no reason to make a new system. So why take the time to do it until now you are forced?
They are forced to do it. And what they don't like is these strong-handed draconian methods that they're using. Oh, you mean business methods?
Look,
you mean the free market system, pal?
I only have one big problem with this whole thing.
What's that?
That is, if you read it, it says properties present and past. So you can get hit for something that you made 10 years ago.
Correct.
That's still making money today.
Correct.
And it's like
you would have to pull it from the market.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man.
Well, all right. So now here's the deal, though. I mean, look, this new world though with PDFs and everything else. I mean, as soon as a book is printed, it's free on the internet somewhere. Yeah. You can go find it. I mean, it's awful to say that because we got these great local gaming shops that, you go give them your money. Yeah. But I think what I find most fascinating is like you don't see Steve Jackson Games getting in on this fight because they created GURPS, the generic universal role-playing system. Savage Worlds, they created their own system, and they had a great ploy, Skungy. You know how they pulled me in? A $10 rule book. When I can go and let me see, Pathfinder, their rule books are like $59, $79, sometimes upwards to $80
for a book.
For a book
that you're going to need more.
That you're going to need more of. Yeah, right. If you have one rule book and 6 players, good luck. Yeah, making one character in that night. Yeah. So then, I think. I'm just surprised that it's like, oh, well, we'll make our own, and we're going to make it open gaming for anybody can do it. Well, what happens if Kobold Press really finds that next great idea and puts out something just spectacular and marvelous? 20 years down the road, it replaces Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, oh, man, this is great. This worked out so good. Man, but all these other people are doing it better than us. They're stealing our income. We need to rescind that OGL. And then 20 years down the road, they're gonna be the next Wizards of the Coast going, you know what? Screw those guys. We came up with this idea. Let them eat cake. And that's gonna happen. I swear to sweet baby Jesus on his cross, that's what's gonna happen.
I absolutely 100% agree with it. It's just, I don't know. I think they could have, Wizard of the Coast could have probably handled it better. They need a new PR guy is what they need.
Well, what happened was it leaked out, and before they were getting ready to show it, and there was a snowball effect because then the company was like, oh, crap, what do we do? We're getting bad press, you know? And look, they do react to the mobs on the internet. They do. They have to. But, I mean, at the end of the day, who are these influencers really influencing? They're influencing a mob of people. That's it. And they canceled some subscriptions. Okay, well, they're right about one damn thing. They will forget. Because what's going to happen is they're going to forget, and they're going to be like, oh, man, this new gaming system that Kobold put out is garbage. Maybe they'll go over to Steve Jackson Games. Maybe they'll go to Savage Worlds. Yeah. But they'll eventually go back to Mama, who gave them they suckled from the teat of Dungeons and Dragons for 45 years. They're coming back. So I just find it entertaining that these kids finally just realize the power that the consumer can have. But they're so, I guess, just
would like to see what this does to Kickstarter.
I think the smaller people are going to get hosed.
Yeah.
Like the smaller little companies are going to get hosed, but you're getting hosed by a big company.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be shocked by that. Just do something else.
Where are all the mom and pop shops?
Just pivot. Right. They're over there at Walmart and Target. That's where the mom and pops are at. All right. When we come, man, we went long on this.
Good Lord, we did.
Long-winded. I don't care. I feel better now.
You do? You do?
Well, look, I love our community sometimes, but sometimes they're just so stupid. Sometimes our friends are just dumb. I'm sorry. I love you people, but God, man. I mean, I think we're fighting over the wrong stuff.
I would like to say that I did not say anybody was dumb.
Oh, no, it was all me. D Squared. I said it right here
I'm
on
your friend.
The Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio.
There is nothing like quality when working with a business. That's why Banks Media Connections make sure that your work is done with class, professionalism, and style. Social media and marketing, IT work, videos, decals, documents, business cards, resumes, flyers, and presentations. Banks Media Connections has all of your media and clerical needs in mind. Contact me, Malcolm Banks, at 251-287-4854, or reach out to us on Facebook and Google. Banks Media Connections. If you have a need, we can help with speed.
Hey y'all, D Squared here, and I'm joined by a special guest, the Go Forblin, to bring you a special announcement. That's right. Go4 Games, your friendly neighborhood game shop since 2010, is moving to 4953 West Napoleon Avenue in the Napoleon Plaza. Keep up to date with the move and Go4Blin's adventure on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Go4GamesNola and GoForGamesNola.com. What's that? Oh, he says he can't wait for you to see his new pick of location at 4953 West Napoleon Avenue.
Now, from the Gregory Ricks and Associates Wealth Management Studios, this is News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
My name is Optimus Prime, and you are listening to the
Starscream here, and you are listening to The Week in Geek. Call me Lord.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I am your host, D Squared. Now, as always, want to strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio, the Instagrams and TikTok at The Week in Geek. And please file all complaints to at care of Skungy at The Week in Geek. Hey, Skungy, how can people listen to this show and complain about your awful opinions?
If you missed any of tonight's show, or if you want to light the torches and get the mob ready to just burn Dave, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and the beautiful iHeartRadio app with the candy-like button.
Well, hello there.
Yes, you too can be a part of the show, just like my son. I'm mad, man. Like my son actually left me another message. You know, I know. Where are the rest of these people? Come on, leave a damn message. Click that red button. Click the red button.
All you gotta do, you could be on the radio.
You know, really, I am curious. I mean, I want to know somebody's opinion on this whole fiasco that's going on. I mean, you know, hit that red button. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. But because I mean, honestly, anybody can be right on some of these things. But I mean, I feel that the creators, they made the money. You know, look, you could have always made your own system, but it was easier. It was there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but now Pathfinder, they have their own great worlds. You know, unfortunately, it's built on the corpse of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
How did we get back on this?
Built on the backs of giants.
Let's talk about what's going on right now, because tonight, The Last of Us premieres on HBO, that new show with the Mandalorian in it.
Yes, and Pedro Pascal.
And Lyanna Mormont, you know, the Queen of Bear Island.
Yes.
So I think that's spectacular casting. I'm excited about this show. I mean, I never got to play the game because it was a PlayStation exclusive, and I'm too cheap to buy a PlayStation. But, I mean, the buzz so far seems to be all positive about this show.
Cautiously optimistic is what I am on this one. But Look, if it does anything, I'll tell you what. If after the first episode, if I cried in the first episode, it's a win because the video game had me crying in 5 minutes.
Oh my God, you're such a pudding.
I don't care.
So I had to turn off the TV. The Bengals game's on. Come on, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe.
Go, Joe. So, that's going on tonight. And look, that between that and football, this has been a great weekend, man. I've been watching football. We're going to go home and kick up the fire tonight because it's still cold. I don't know what the hell's going on. And Tuesday, Skungy, wait for it. Here it comes.
I've been watching old episodes.
Yeah, Sit-Ubu Sit, good dog. Laugh, 42.2 on the cheap ass TV that I have. You know, you just put an antenna on it.
Yeah.
They play old episodes of Night Court. So it's coming out on Tuesday. Dan Fielding is back, baby. Apparently he got married. Dan Fielding, the horn dog.
How did Dan Fielding get married?
It must have been a Vegas accident or
somebody lost a bet.
Something like that, or it was a mafioso's daughter. Like, whatever it did, Dan
You're going to marry this girl.
Because I really doubt that he changed. You know, a leopard can't change its stripes or spots or whatever the hell those leopards do. So that's coming out Tuesday, so I'm excited. But now this is something we forgot to hit last week, Skungy. Remember when I said, hey, Skungy, I think we're forgetting something.
Dude, between you, me, Rachel, and the Delirium, I'm surprised we even had the show on.
Well, April 13th, a movie that was shot here locally, and somehow the Pharaoh of New Orleans was here in town with his little, pyramid tomb over there in St. Louis. He was in town. Nick Cage, the new movie Renfield, coming out April 13th. Here, listen.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you okay? I need to get out.
That's
of
Nicholas.
A toxic relationship.
Nicholas Holt. And
why don't you start by...
He is the guy from Warm Bodies. He was the
zombie.
Beast. Yeah, the zombie guy. He was also Beast in the X-Men reboots and all that stuff. What's funny is as soon as he pops up on the screen in the trailer, he's pale white, and I'm going, wait, is this Warm Bodies too? For a minute there, I'm like, what's going on? But he pulls off pasty white for some reason. All right, let's continue.
Telling us what brought you here.
He's at like an AA meeting, but like for couples therapy.
My boss, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
I need your assistance.
I'm coming, Master! I'm coming, Master!
You feel like he could destroy you with the snap of his fingers.
Wouldn't even need to snap.
Blows up a priest. Hey, man.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, what?
What?
Renfield, bring me innocent victims.
Nuns.
I want a handful of nuns, a busload of cheerleaders.
Children.
Life again.
Like what the? It's a busload of children. Like,
he's got the teeth.
Right.
It's enunciation is hard for vampires, apparently.
Okay, well, it's Nick Cage. He's got to put some wacky spin on everything. But then Renfield is at Mulat's of all places, just chilling, having a meal, and then he gets robbed with guys in masks. Who robs Mulat's?
I
don't know. It's a great location. But here,
it is.
But this modern world is a dangerous place.
No.
But then he eats a bug, and he gets superpowers, and he chops off a dude's hand.
Thank you. You saved my life. Did I watch you cut a guy's arms off with a decorative serving platter?
It's in the wrist.
That's Aquafina.
Let me explain. My boss gave me this power. In return, I tend to his needs, including care, feeding.
You bring him people to eat? You're like the guy that gets the villain's Postmates.
But if you were to stop focusing on his needs, what would happen?
He won't grow to full power.
Exactly. He won't grow to full power. What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that?
What?
But yes.
Oh my God.
Hi. Are you here for the meeting? Well, come on.
No!
Don't invite him in. No.
Some call me the Dark One. Others, the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
Okay. Obviously, we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
He floats in the air, and he's immortal.
Let's eat.
Let's eat. This looks spectacularly awesome. When I first saw the trailer, I watched it like 2 more times. I'm like, this is awesome because it's just like, and it's set in New Orleans, so that's just fun in and of itself. But I did not get the memo that Awkwafina was a leading lady now.
I didn't know that either.
She ain't my cup of tea, is all I'm saying. But like, whatever. She looks funny. This is a comedy, and
she's a comedian.
She is funny, so we'll go with that. But Renfield coming out April 13th. Now,
so much fun.
Coming up sooner than that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania. Now, Skungy, I have to preface this before we go into this trailer because remember how I said Kang is probably going to be a craptastic bad guy? I'm unimpressed with his,
Only for the last year.
Okay, I might be wrong. I know.
What?
I'm just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, I said might, god dang it. I said might. Here, listen.
You're an interesting man. Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter.
He sounds more intimidating.
But you've lost a lot of time. Like me. We can help each other with that.
He's like a different person.
I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
And as we know, in the quantum realm, time runs differently.
Rewrite existence and shatter timelines.
And it exploded.
You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need. Or everything.
A busload of children. A handful of nuns.
This is all my fault.
Yes, Cassie, it is your fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
I've altered the deal.
Pray I don't alter it any further. But now look, they're giving away a lot of the plot in this trailer because clearly, he does. Look, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, he's a criminal, okay? Yeah. But he's a lovable, huggable criminal. Yeah. But he is. He's not. He's a hero, but he's also he's selfish in a way, but not in a bad way. Like he wants his daughter. He got blipped out for 5 years or however long the blip was, and so she grew up, and so he's lost all this time, all the time he spent in jail, the time and during the blip, and so. He's lost all this time with his daughter. There's a scene where she's in jail. So clearly, the lack of a parental figure had an impact on her growing up. So it's obvious that whatever deal Kang offers him, he jumps on it. Yeah. And sidebar, Kang always had a blue face. In the comics, he had a blue face. Kudos to the team that made it kind of like a force field. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, the little blue face that he has disappears, and it's just like, well played, because I was worried if him in blue face, I could have done it. But all right, here we go. Keep going. Oh, and I think at this point, MODOK shows up. MODOK pops up.
You could win.
Oh, this is a great line.
I don't have to win.
Yeah.
We both just have to lose.
Yeah. So clearly he makes the heroic choice.
I'm sorry, Cassie.
Well, it is the multiverse.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's why it's Quantumania.
Quantumania. Sounds like a Who album.
So, look, the MODOK thing. Now here's something. Darren Cross was the villain in the first Ant-Man. He played Yellow Jacket. When it's been paused, it's blurry. You see MODOK's face. He's got this weird, battle mask thing, but when his face, this big, giant freaking face, it looks like Darren Cross. It looks like Yellow Jacket. Now, at the end of the movie, he got blipped. He got thrown into the quantum realm or whatever.
Quantum realm,
which means it wouldn't be a shock to find out that, maybe Kang was like, oh, you poor little guy, you work for me now, punk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see.
Hey, I think
where
it's a
that
good
one
theory.
goes
It's
to.
a good one.
Yeah. So it wasn't mine. I stole it from somebody on the internet.
Oh.
I know, it is what it is. All right, when we come back, Skungy, History of the World, Part 2. So apparently it's coming out March 6th on Hulu. I'll tease you with this. The year and the date. It's January 15th, 2023. Mel Brooks is making a sequel that's 40 years in the making in this world where children just found out that companies don't have their best interests at heart. This is going to go over like a fart in church. This is The Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio. Box tea again? Why don't you try the tea blends from the Viridian Tea Company? They sell blends that are guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With blends like Quantum Mechanics, Caligula's Herbal Nerve Tonic, and Manta Ray Dreaming, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop at 432 North Anthony Street or online at Etsy at the Viridian Tea Company. So put down the box and order some tea from the Viridian Tea Company today. Sincerely, your taste buds.
Pro Se Productions is a leading independent publisher on the cutting edge of new pulp and genre fiction today. At Pro Se Productions, you'll find fiction featuring fast-paced action and adventure, larger-than-life protagonists, over-the-top characters, and tight yet extravagant plots. Pro Se specializes in prose books, anthologies, audiobooks, and more. Go to prose-press.com to find our monthly release schedule and more info about our great titles. Pro Se Productions is your first-rate publisher of new pulp fiction today.
Now, from the Gregory Ricks and Associates Wealth Management Studios, this is News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I am your host, D Squared. Now, as we were going to break, we're talking about Mel Brooks and History of the World, Part 2, which is coming out on Hulu. It's going to be a 4-part miniseries, Skungy.
I thought it was 8.
Oh, I saw 4,
yeah.
But it says it starts streaming on March 6th, so on Hulu, which means, I don't know, I'll have to probably steal my son's.
It says 8 episodes on IMDb. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it's double episodes.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Because it's a 4-night event. I know that. 4-night event. Now, here we go. This is what I don't have high hopes for this. And I know you were all like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to be awesome. And while I don't disagree with you completely, I have a strange feeling that even Mel Brooks is not geared for this brave new world that we're in. Just listen to it, because he introduces the trailer. So here.
Hi, I'm,
checks his coat.
I'm Mel Brooks, yeah. The guy who brought you the producers Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, and Blazing Saddles. And now I am proud to present the long-anticipated follow-up to my film, History of the World, Part 1.
So when he starts rattling off, he puts Blazing Saddles last. And it seems like the way he's just like, Blazing Saddles, my long-awaited movie, and I'm just like, what?
I think you're digging too much into it because, the producers, he's won so many Tony Awards for the producers, and Young Frankenstein is still in the zeitgeist, and Spaceballs, Star Wars.
Yeah. And they weren't completely offensive whereas Blazing...
The producers wasn't offensive?
They made fun of Nazis.
They have a song called Springtime for Hitler.
I know, and it's a great song. I played it on this show because the guy who sang it was actually like wait, pump the brakes on, people wearing Nazi costumes. I wore one. It's, it's called satire, people. Look it up.
Yeah.
But satire is a lost art on these morons that are watching TV and movies and consuming media these days. It's they don't get it. They don't understand. It's like, can you believe what he said? Yes, the tongue was firmly in his cheek, but because it was in text form, you don't get the joke.
True.
I do not believe that this movie will be as funny as we want it or hope it will be, because you can't make the jokes you can today. I mean, you can't make the jokes you made back then today. Now, some of those, they might have been in poor taste.
Yeah.
But you can't even toe the water anymore. You can't even gently sort of hint at it. The closest they got was when at the very end of the trailer, she goes, so be clear, you want to make sure Jesus is not a black man. He goes, no, that's not what I'm saying at all, while he's throwing up 2 thumbs up. Don't you put words in my mouth, nodding yes the whole time. That seems like the most edgiest sort of thing in there, because we're in an age where, like, Dave Chappelle was like, screw you guys, I'm out. I mean, like, comedians and people that are making comedies, like Mel Brooks, who made some of the greatest comic movies ever, he'll be marched, tarred and feathered. I mean, they'll be like, oh my God, that was so insensitive. I'm triggered. I mean, all those buzzwords are going to be flying.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing.
Okay,
the man's like 90-something years old. Do you think he cares if he
yes.
gets tarred and feathered?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so. If he sits there and does something offensive, I think, he's so at the end of his life.
All
what
right.
are they going to do?
Here's the other thing. Read off the cast, Skungy, because it has a star-studded cast over like 40 some odd major celebrities, and not like bum celebrities, legit celebrities that all signed up to be in a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
They have to worry about their careers because they're not 96 years old.
Well, you have Mel Brooks. You have four
Mel
reoccurring.
Brooks.
You have 4 reoccurring. You have Mel Brooks, Wanda Sykes, Nick Knoll, and Ike Barinholtz. But you've got Pamela Alden, Tim Black, Zazie Betts, who played Domino, Jillian Bell, Zazie Beetz, sorry, Quinta Bronson, Dove Cameron, Darcy Carden, Ronnie Cheng.
Who the heck? I don't even know half these damn people you're reading. You're reading the awful part of the
Danny
cast
DeVito.
list. Oh, there he is.
David Duchovny. Josh Gad. Jake Johnson. Richard Kine. Johnny Knoxville. Lauren Lampkus. Jennifer Lewis. Joe Lou Trugolo. He's from the Reno
Juggalo?
Yeah, Trugolo.
Are Juggalos still a thing?
Probably. Him and Ken Marino, they're from Reno 911.
Oh, right.
You've got Brock O'Hearn.
So, a lot of big names that still have
Seth
a lot
Rogen,
of career. Yeah, they still
Sarah
have
Silverman, and your favorite, Taika Waititi.
Oh, yeah. See, I right there, I know that he's going to be worried. He's going to be worried. Because, look, all of them are going to be worried about their careers, okay? Taika Waititi's at a point in his career where he's like, screw it, I'm going to have 2 rocks having sex, whatever, I don't care anymore. He doesn't care. Now, that's good for him, but a lot of these other guys still have careers in front of them. I do not think this is going to be the epitome of a Mel Brooks film. I do not believe he has the ability, or the world won't let him do this. Because, I mean, look,
but there's been stuff that's come out that's like really inappropriate, or like that toes the line and does some stuff. Little Demon is a show that came out that's on Hulu. That's with Danny DeVito, and it's about Lucifer and a daughter.
Yeah, it was on FX, and
it is raunchy, and they say stuff in there that like makes me blush.
Yeah, but it's on cable. I mean, it's not.
This is on Hulu.
Pump the brakes. Hold on. This is not. They're not Mel Brooks, though, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a standard. I mean, of course, Robin Hood Men in Tights, but I mean, like, sure, they weren't all great.
Dracula Dead and loving it.
But, I mean, I just don't, I don't have high hopes for this, because I feel that he has probably wrote a lot of jokes, and a lot of them ended in the garbage can and on the cutting room floor, because I just don't think that this day and age, it'll be appreciated as the comedy that it's offered as, because everybody's butthurt about everything.
Yeah,
Just putting it out there.
I know. I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong.
Tap that little red microphone button on the iHeartRadio app. Let me know whose side you're on. Skungy and his this will be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
My optimism.
Yeah. Take that optimism right out the door with you, man. Or me, the right
Cynical.
one. Yeah, cynical, jaded music major. That's me. All right, when we come back, we'll hit the Skungy's pick of the week, Midnight Suns, and maybe we'll get to Jinkies, the whole Velma thing. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe we'll table that one because there's a lot going on with this new Scooby-Doo reboot. I do. I watched the trailer and I'm pretty much sure I got it from the trailer.
No, you didn't.
No, it gets worse.
Much.
Oh, all right. Well, this is the Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio.
Listen to WRNO on the iHeartRadio app. Sponsored by Dudley DeVosier Injury Lawyers. Call 504-444-4444. That's 504-444-4444. Non-attorney spokesperson Chad Dudley, New Orleans.
Hey y'all, D Squared here, and I'm joined by a special guest, the Go Forblin, to bring you a special announcement. That's right. Go 4 Games, your friendly neighborhood game shop since 2010, is moving to 4953 West Napoleon Avenue in the Napoleon Plaza. Keep up to date with the move and Go 4Blin's adventure on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Go 4 Games NOLA and go4gamesnola.com. What's that? Oh, he says he can't wait for you to see his new pick of location at 4953 West Napoleon Avenue.
Mata Hari, Agent H21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Hello, this is Ethan Peck, Mr. Spock in Star Trek Discovery, and this is The Week in Geek.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. That was Ethan Peck, friend of the show now.
Friend of the show.
I'm going to call him a friend of the show because, he and I, we had a moment together.
Yes, you did.
Well, actually, he's just a nice guy, and I was like, hey, the guys wanted to take a group pic. He's like, sure thing. And so he's another guy who kind of gets it like that. Like these celebs, there's so many that just don't care. He's not one of them. So... all right, you know what we haven't done in a while because we totally forgot to do it last week, or maybe we just don't remember, but we need to do this.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
I love lamp. I love lamp.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Skungy! One day we'll tell people the I Love Lamp story about you. Yeah, but it is not this day.
Not this day.
All right, what do we got? Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. It is the new game from Fire Axis Games, the people that made one of your favorites, XCOM.
And XCOM 2. Part Deuce.
The sequel.
It was great, dude. If you like real-time strategy, if you like turn-based strategy games, because I'm old and I don't have the reflexes of my 9-year-old sitting outside right now, turn-based is like for the plotter in us all that wants to be like, I'm slowly going to decimate my enemy by moving here, and here.
Well, that's exactly what this game is.
Yeah, tell me more.
It's a turn-based strategy game, but it uses something different. Instead of having your traditional stats like attack or defend, you get cards, and the cards do different attacks.
Okay.
And you have a 3-person team. And depending on, it shuffles the cards, and those are the cards, and that's what you're going to have your turn. You have 3 plays, so you can play 3 cards a turn.
Okay.
Now, sometimes you get something that's like a free play. Like if you play this and you KO an enemy, well, you get an extra play.
All right.
Stuff like that. They have all kinds of different keywords and whatnot. But the cool thing about it is that, like all real-time strategies, you're trying to maneuver yourself around the battlefield to make the most optimum moves.
Right.
All right, and the most damage. Well, when you're fighting, if you have a keyword called knockback, you'll hit them, and it brings up a grid. It doesn't have the grid like you're used to in XCOM. It does have kind of a circle of where you can go. But when the attack happens, you put a circle, the cursor over the enemy, and then if it's got the knockback, it shows a line of where it's going to push them back to.
Oh, so you can push them into the stuff in the background, like a car or whatever?
Yes, you can push them into an AC unit, like an AC unit, and they blow up the AC unit, or into another enemy to give double damage and stuff like that. You've got different missions that you're going to go on, and I'm telling you, the combat on this, I don't know what it is. It's just so much fun.
All right, so let me ask you about the card thing. Now, this is something that I happened to notice. We went over to Adventure Quest Laser Tag a couple of weeks ago, and they have Minecraft Dungeons as a 4-person arcade game. They also had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. But when you're playing, you get a card. You scan the card right there, and it gives you a bonus right then and there, and then you can keep the cards and then scan it. I'm just kind of curious as to it. Is there an opening for them to try to make a card-based game? Because I wouldn't put it past anybody to do that these days.
I wouldn't doubt it, but they already have a lot of Marvel card-based games, like strategy games like Marvel Champions and Versus System. I really, really like the combat system on this. It is like so much fun. It's addicting. The game has RPG elements to it. It has a story of where you're playing the Hunter is what your character's name is, just the Hunter. And you're going after Lilith, and you have the Midnight Sun. So you have like Blade.
Yes.
Michael
Jai White, friend of the show.
You have him. You have Iron Man, Ghost Rider, Captain Marvel, Wolverine, among others. There are among other ones that you can get. And as you team up with them, when you go back to the base, instead of like with XCOM where you build up the base to try to do this so you can have this technology.
Right.
As you play through, you're going to get these things that you can forge, which will give you better cards.
Oh, okay.
And you can get better cards. But in order to get your troop upgraded, instead of like doing barrack stuff, you do a relationship with them. Like, hey, let's go hang out by the pool.
You go have relations?
You build a relationship with your team. Let's go watch a movie. Let's play a video game. So it's like almost like a romance sim in the middle of it.
Sounds like a bad management training video.
It really is. That's the one thing.
A good manager spends quality time with his employees.
It slows the story. I mean, it slows it down a little bit. The story is really good, but that's just the one thing where I'm like, I think this is like but the combat system, unbelievable.
Did they put like a Mr. Pop on top of Ghost Rider's head? Hey, he's making a popcorn.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah, but yeah, I'm overall, I'm really enjoying this game.
All right, price and platform. We got like a minute left.
It's on only the Series X and the PlayStation 5 right now. It doesn't come out until another 2 months on the other systems.
Boo!
But it's like $70.
Jesus.
Well, that's how much next gen games are.
I'm going to go make my own game. I don't need them for that anymore. Or do they have an open gaming license? Maybe I can make a knockoff.
Maybe they do.
I'll call it like Afternoon Suns or something. I don't know. Midday Suns. That'll learn them, but good.
Morning Moons.
Yes. All right, so next week we got the LA Ghostbusters. You want to get your fan group or whatever on the show, give us a shout. Find us on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram. Shoot us a message, DM us, whatever. I'll actually go ahead and check it. I had to turn the things off, the notifications. It's just too many damn notifications.
I know,
man.
It's getting crazy.
There we go. All right, so till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
WRNO-FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeart Radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.